Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. My name is Hannah, and on my channel I post a lot of anti-MLM content. I also have a clothing reselling business on the Poshmark app, so lots of reselling and tips and tricks videos mixed in there as well. For today's video, I have another MLM top fails for you. It's unbelievable to me that we're already on number 27 of these. I cannot figure out how that happened or where the time has gone, but I'm feeling pretty proud of the anti-MLM playlist that I built on my channel. If you're looking for a really bingeable anti-MLM playlist, lots of different varieties of videos like top fails, MLM horror story videos, deep dives, all that stuff, I will link it right up here. As always, thank you for sending me all these clips. The more you send me, the more videos I can make, and it has been the most helpful thing recently as I'm trying to put out more and more videos. Sending it to me on Google Drive is the best way to ensure that I actually see it, because I tend to lose track of things that get sent to me through Instagram, so Google Drive is the way to go. The instructions for how to do that are in the description box of all my videos. I tried to make it as easy as possible by giving you like step-by-step instructions. And with that, there's a lot to watch today, so let's get right into it.
That was some fire right there. And people always ask me like, Dre, like, how do you just don't give a fuck what people say. You just don't care. You're so yourself. You don't care what anybody has to say. And it's like, that is like a muscle. That's a muscle that I wasn't always like this. I'm actually a chronic people pleaser, okay? And I still have some of those tendencies today, but I'm healing. But it's like, it's something that you build over time. Like, I don't know, like as soon as I started being more loud, more myself, showcasing what my thoughts and like my raw, authentic personality, and not hiding those parts of myself that I thought people were gonna think were fucking weird, and slowly you get that, like, I don't want to say external validation, but you get that, universal confirmation. I want to say universal confirmation that post, that video, that something impacted somebody's day. And you get one of those, and then you get two of them, and then you get three of them.
Get off your phone while driving. Whatever you have to say about your MLM is not worth somebody's life, and it can wait until you get home. And yes, she is driving. When you record yourself on an Instagram story, it flips the image on your front-facing camera, so it looks like she's sitting in the passenger seat, but she is in fact behind the wheel, one hand on her phone, one hand off the wheel, on the highway, with cars blowing past her. Also, if she's uploading these to her story in real time, she has like captions on every single slide. So that means she's sitting there typing and uploading to Instagram too. I hope at the very least she recorded this in her car and waited until she got home to post it and type out all the captions, but either way, it's all bad. And this is not the first example of me reacting to somebody on my channel who is like filming themselves while they're driving. Why do we do this? Why is this necessary? I don't know if it's to like prove like, oh, you can do this business from anywhere, even in the car, on the go. I don't know if they're trying to like perpetuate this whole like boss babe hustle lifestyle kind of thing. Like, you're so busy that this is the only time I have to like hop on an Instagram story. It's very weird. My blood pressure is rising. I'm very nervous watching this video, and I can't even pay attention to what she's saying because I'm waiting for the moment that she like smashes into somebody.
The confirmation that somebody needed to hear my words. The confirmation that I made somebody smile. I made somebody feel better. I made somebody feel heard. You know, and the more I got those, the more I stopped giving a fuck, because I realized how much impact I was having with just a simple thing as being myself, just a simple thing as posting something that might help somebody, or posting something that might make somebody feel good. I remember when I first started, I remember this one girl telling me, when I'm having a bad day, sorry it's loud, when I'm having a bad day, I literally search for your stories. And I was like, wow, like, that's fucking powerful, bro. Someone's having a horrible day and they're typing my name in the Instagram browser to search for my stories. More and more, you stop giving a fuck what Sally from high school has to say, or Frederick, or user 74547. Like, it doesn't fucking matter, because if you have to piss off 5 people on the way of impacting 1,000, it's fucking worth it.
Step on 5 people to impact 1,000. If you're in an MLM, you're stepping on way more than 5 people to get where you're at. And again, the savior complex, that I'm doing this to help people, I'm making an impact on people's lives. It's such a fallacy, because when you're in an MLM and you sign somebody up under you, who does that benefit the most? Not the person at the bottom of the pyramid who was most recently recruited. It benefits you as their upline, as the person who recruited them. It's just like this constant rat race. Like, nobody wants to be last, right? Nobody wants to be the bottom level of their team, because those people lose money. Those people have invested more than they've ever made back. And in order to climb in the ranks and to make more money to therefore not be in a deficit, you need to recruit other people and put them below you so they're in last place and not you. So it really bothers me when MLM reps kind of frame it as like this charitable act of service that they're doing by bringing people into this business opportunity, when we all know that you're only bringing those people in to lose so that you can win.
It's literally worth it. Because the thing is no matter how amazing you are, no matter how safe you play it, there's always going to be some people that don't like you. But focus on the impact. Because trust me, the love always outweighs the hate. And even now to this day, I'm always on these little MLM hate pages and I get DMs and blah, 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 all these different things. And I don't care. Because I know what happens when I go to an event and I meet some people and they meet me and they literally start crying, or they get emotional for meeting me, or they tell me how much I've impacted their life. So I really don't give a fuck what you have to say. Because the impact on them matters more than your little. I get a little passionate about this because some of you guys really let the opinion of someone who you don't even want to be like affect the way that you work your business, the way that what you post and the way that you run your life.
She's getting pretty worked up for someone who's not supposed to care what other people say about her business. Also, I'm severely creeped out at this idea of like people coming up to her and crying because they get to meet her. Like, ew, what? The egos of people, especially at the top of MLMs, are astronomical. And it's honestly very concerning when you think about it. They really think they're like famous or something. They really think they're the CEO. They really think they hold some kind of like big special power. And in reality, people outside the MLM have no idea who these people are. The people who are coming up to her and crying because they're so honored to meet her are most likely just people that are in her downline somewhere. And that's creepy. They love to compare the multi-level marketing business model to like a traditional corporate ladder, which of course we've debunked a million times on this channel. It's not the same thing in any capacity. But let's run with that analogy really quick, okay? Let's say Target. Could you imagine like a part-time cashier at Target making an hourly wage? Could you imagine that employee meeting the vice president of Target and sobbing and crying and I love you and I idolize you and it's an honor to be meeting you? No, because that's weird. The idolization and the worshiping of people in the top of these companies simply because of their position within the pyramid is the strangest thing to me. And when MLM reps come out and say stuff like this, I'm just reminded of what a crazy freaking cult these things are. Worshiping somebody simply because they've recruited a whole bunch of people into this business opportunity. That is weird behavior. That is not normal. And what it actually is, what they're actually doing is they're worshiping somebody. They're worshiping the idea of something that they hope they can achieve one day. It might not be that they're actually praising the person. They're praising what that person has done. And they see that person as like a beacon of hope. Like if they've made it to that point in the company, so can I. And if they're making this many figures a year, so can I. And if they're driving a luxury vehicle, so can I. That's what it all boils down to. The people in the top of MLMs, they're just the physical representation of the dream that everybody in the MLM has. And that solely relies upon the fallacy that everybody has an equal opportunity, and if she can do it, I can do it kind of thing. But remember, it doesn't rely upon hard work or mindset or any of that stuff. I say this all the time. Your ability to be successful in MLM relies upon luck, timing, and the ability to recruit people. That's literally it. Sure, you might put in a lot of time and energy into trying to recruit people, but ultimately, it depends what time you got into the company and how old that company was. It depends on the reputation that company has at that time. And it depends on if that person says yes to your pitch. These people at the top of these MLMs are being praised and worshipped by everybody in the downline just because they had the right timing, just because they got into the company early enough, just because their pool of recruitment opportunity was bigger than it is today. It is so bizarre.
They're a non-factor, bro. They're a non-factor. Successful and happy people don't have time to hate on other people. They just don't. They're too busy doing things that are positive. So why are we pressed over their opinion? If you don't want to trade places with them, their opinion should be a non-factor to you. Literally a non-factor. You're a non-factor to me. Like, it's just. Anyways, everybody gonna get blocked in this bitch. It's a party. Anyways, hopefully that helped. That helped some of you guys. And just so you know that I wasn't always like this, it just got built up over time. The more you start being yourself, the more you get that universal confirmation, and the more confidence you get in being yourself. It's a cycle. Just start.
People who are anti-MLM and are just debunking the myths of the industry are not haters, though. People who have a different viewpoint than you are not haters. If anything, I consider anti-MLM content creators to be educators above all else. But exactly as she just did, they will always call us haters. They will always recommend that you tune us out, that you don't listen to what we have to say because we're uneducated and you don't want to be like us, and you just need to rise above it and block it out, because if you did listen, you might have a wake-up call. And all this does is contribute to the information control of the MLM industry, and it reinforces that culture of refusing to listen to what anybody outside the business has to say and only accepting information that confirms what you already believe to be true about what you're doing in your business opportunity. And that can be pretty dangerous. That's why people get stuck in MLMs for so long, because they consume information like this. They watch their upline telling you on social media that your key to be successful and to be like me is to block out the haters and don't listen to other people who might be showing you pretty convincing evidence as to why this industry is a scam. And what happens is if you get stuck in this cycle of not listening to outside information, you don't have an opportunity to get out there and learn for yourself and see things for yourself and come to your own conclusions. Your only source of information is coming from the people on your team and the people in your upline, which coincidentally happen to be the group of people that make money off of you. All I want is for people to consider the source, think for yourself, and come to your own conclusions. Okay, on to the next. This next one is a reel. The premise is that the mom is sitting at the park working on her MLM business, and she gets like startled by her child who runs up and kind of scares her. And it says, when you've been on your phone monetizing your Instagram and forgot about your kid in the playground. And how exactly is this a flex? Like, why are we bragging that our focus is more on our phone than on our child? Side note, completely unrelated to anything MLMs. If you have a child on the playground, keep your eyes on them 100% of the time. For the love of God, okay? Coming from your true crime loving friend Hannah, who is a very anxious and very cautious person, do not let that child out of your sight in public places, okay? Could you imagine if your child was kidnapped because you were cold messaging on Instagram? Sickening. As always, I'm not trying to mom shame. This is just like a really deeply rooted like fear of mine. I don't know where it came from, but just the idea of having a child being like taken from you in a public place is so scary. All parents out there in the world, MLM hunt or not, keep an eye on your kids. Aside from all that, okay, the purpose of this reel, the undertone is obviously you can work from anywhere. You're a boss babe mama who can be with her kids and also work on your business, which I know that they totally think is a selling point and they talk about it all the time. But the way that I see it, this reel just shows me that you're going to be expected to work from everywhere. It's like, if you can, then you should. Before you join the business, the narrative was always, you fit this into pockets of time, work it into your schedule, it fits anywhere, it's so easy, you're already on your phone, you're already on Instagram, why not make money from that? But then once you join, the narrative flips on you, and then it becomes, oh, well, you really need to work hard at this if you're actually going to make any money. You get out what you put in, so if you're only doing it 30 minutes a day, you're not going to see results. And now, great, I feel like I have to work on this all the time. And because this is primarily like a cell phone and social media based business opportunity, that phone goes with you everywhere. And I can imagine that you might start feeling guilty if you're not being productive in all of those pockets of time throughout the day. And then you add on that whole additional layer of feeling like you have the ability to be as successful as you want to be if you just work hard enough. So it ends up being like this perfect storm of guilt and false hope that results in you being tied to your phone constantly and never actually experiencing the time freedom that is often promised. Oh my gosh, this lady again. I keep including her in my videos because you keep sending her to me, and that's fine. I apologize if it's becoming like annoying or repetitive, but she just says the most insane things. It's always lie after lie after lie, and they can so easily be debunked, and so I see value in that, and that's why I choose to keep including these clips. So I don't know. Let me know if you think that it's getting kind of overplayed here, because I still have several other clips that I haven't even opened. I haven't even looked at. I just see that it's her. Lots of people send me her stuff, and as long as it keeps coming in, and as long as I feel like something can be learned from it, I'm gonna keep including it if that's okay.
Okay, so I know earlier I did a live on traditional businesses versus what we do, but now I want to talk about, having a job, a normal job, a 9 to 5 versus what we do. I saw a meme that actually spoke to me because I think it's just so prevalent in, what we do and the differences in the two. between a job and what we do. So
before we get too deep into it, I wanted to show you this graphic and talk about it just briefly. But what this is showing is that in a traditional job, you make the same amount month after month after month. You might get an occasional raise, but with a business and being a business owner, you might see a ton of profit one month. You might get none one month. And the hope for that business is that over time, that graph keeps increasing, right? So monetarily, you might look at this and be like, well, I want the opportunity that's going to give me unlimited income. There's no cap on how high that graph can go. And that's the point that she's going to make. And that's how she's going to tie it into multi-level marketing specifically. But I feel like you have to look at this at two ways, okay? If you look at this through just a financial lens, running a business might seem more appealing to you because it looks like you do have kind of like this uncapped earning potential that can't really be achieved the same way in a salaried job. But you could look at this in a second way, that one is stable and reliable and the other is not. One offers you benefits in addition to your salary, the other does not. One comes with an incredible amount of risk and has the potential to just crash and burn at any moment, and the other does not. So what I'm trying to say is that it's very important to consider the full picture here and not just the money aspect, because some people really value having a schedule. They value having a salary. They value having benefits and vacation time and all the stuff that we normally talk about. And some people have no desire to ride the wave of financial fluctuation and enduring the uncertainty that comes with owning and running your own business. And it just bothers me when MLM reps frame it as like owning a business is always superior to just working a normal job. Because not everybody wants that. Not everybody wants to be a business owner.
guys, let's say you make $20 an hour. That's a pretty good amount to make hourly. That is about $40,000 a year before taxes. So my whole thing is, how are you supposed to get ahead when you're making the same amount every single week and you have nothing else coming in? You're probably waiting a year for a dollar raise, which is a real statistic. It's crazy that we normalize that, but that's a real statistic. How are you supposed to get ahead? How are you supposed to save for your kids' college fund, for that special vacation you want to take with your family, for your dreams, your goals? You can't. If you're making the same amount every single month, you cannot. It is impossible, even for the best savers. Not to mention that the American debt is so much money. Student loans, so much money. Guys, with this business, I turned my 10-year plan into a 2-year plan. I paid off $17,000 in debt with 1 month's check. I paid off all my student loans. That would have taken me years. Okay, and that is because I was in a business that obviously has ups and downs. I worked my butt off to get to the top of a company in less than 2 years, and here I am today, reaping the fruits of my labor, okay? If you're scared of the work, you might as well run from the money, you guys. So you can never be scared of the work, and yes, of course it's hard, but everything is hard.
Hate to say it, don't fully disagree. I do agree that if you're working at the same job in the same position and you're only getting a raise of a couple $1,000s a year, it can feel hard to get ahead. I also feel the weight of student loans, and I also feel like, oh my gosh, it's going to take me years to pay these off. And I do agree that it is a good idea to have multiple streams of income in order to get ahead. But, here's the but, you have to remember what she's referencing here. She's pitching multi-level marketing as the solution, as the way to get ahead, and to be able to pay off your student loans with one check, which, by the way, is an income claim. She cannot be saying that. But as always, please remember that the industry of multi-level marketing only produces a minuscule group of people that has the opportunity to make it to the levels that she's describing. Congrats to her, okay? She recruited a bunch of people, she built a big team, she makes money off of those people every month, and she gets big checks. But only 0.02% of people in Mon8 make it to the rank that she's at, and that's not a reflection of hard work. That is a reflection of recruiting people and manipulation. People who join Mon8 today will never make it to the rank that she's at because there aren't enough people left to recruit. I mean, really think about it, okay? What's the age range of people that sell Mon8? You have to be at least 18, and I really haven't seen anybody over, like, I would say over 50. I think it's safe to say that most of the people in this company are between 18 and 50, okay? So you exclude the younger population, you exclude the older population. Think about that age range. With each and every year that passes, it becomes harder and harder to find somebody out there who isn't already in the company, who hasn't been in the company and quit already, who hasn't already been pitched it by somebody else and said no, who can afford the cost of the starter pack, who is actually looking for an MLM-based business opportunity opportunity. Like, do you see what I mean? It gets so much more difficult as the years go on. Why do you think the older MLMs like Amway, like Cutco, prey on high schoolers? Because they're just about to turn 18. They're just about to enter into the eligible pool of people. It's only a matter of time until all the MLMs have exhausted all of the possible people they can, and they have to resort to high schoolers, to literal children, in order to keep their business opportunity afloat. It's sad. But that was a very unanticipated tangent. Sorry about that. What I'm trying to say is, yes, it's a good idea to have multiple streams of income if you have big financial goals, big financial responsibilities, you want to get ahead. But it is a bad idea to try and do that by joining an industry with a 99% failure rate.
Working in a traditional job in a 9-to-5 where you're overworked, underpaid, and just barely making it, where you don't have enough in your account for a $500 emergency, which is another real life statistic, okay? That's hard. Not breaking generational curses, getting set up to fail and, just barely make it and drown, okay? When you have families or a family that you want to start and want to take care of and you want to get ahead, that's hard. So you have to choose your heart.
All of that is such an overgeneralization, okay? Not everybody is overworked and underpaid and hates their life and hates their job and lives a miserable life.
And honestly, you guys, this is the best decision I ever made. It makes no sense to me why everybody is not betting on themselves and why everyone is not taking their own life back under control. When they want a raise, they get a raise. When they want to make more money, they can do so because their hustle determines their paycheck. And that is the beauty of what we do. It doesn't matter where you came from, what you look like, your educational background, your past mistakes. We do no screening here. We don't care about that. We just want to help people who want to level up.
In no other industry is it a good idea to hire employees with no interview and no consideration of their experience or their education. So telling me that you don't screen people before you let them join the company is not a good sign. And I know that she's trying to frame it like everybody has an equal opportunity, which isn't even true to begin with, we know that. But saying that you allow anyone and everyone to join tells me that it's not really about the skill of marketing and selling the products. What that tells me is that it's about recruiting. It's about recruiting warm bodies to fill spots to boost yourself in the pyramid. Because after all, this is just a money-making scheme and not a real business opportunity.
And your hustle determines your paycheck. You decide how much of a raise you get every single month by how hard you work. It is the most moral form of compensation on the freaking planet.
Please explain to me how a company that pays less than 1% of their representatives a livable income is the most moral form of compensation on the planet. That might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, less than 1% of us actually make a livable income, and to make that livable income, you have to recruit a bunch of vulnerable people, make money off of their efforts while they lose money. This really is the most ethical way to make a living, I would say. I feel like I lost brain cells with that comment.
So get educated, get with it. It's the wave of the future. 65 millionaires in 7 years. I'm on my way.
They're not millionaires. They're part of the $1 Million Club, which means they've made $1 million in commissions over several years. The compulsive lying is out of control with this one.
I will get there. So you can either join or watch and come with me, or just sit back and watch and keep doing the same thing and stay in the same spot. And again, I'm not talking to the people who love what they do and make money doing it. But even if you do, more money is never a bad thing. Multiple streams of income is the way millionaires become millionaires, okay? And then multimillionaires. It's the wave of the future. Sorry, I got a call. But anyways, I wanted to show you guys using my dad as an example, who he dropped out of college, didn't have a college background, and actually did pretty well for himself, which I feel like in today's day and age, college is kind of like you have to have a college degree to get any reputable job. This doesn't really happen as often as it did before, but I wanted to show you guys just an example of my dad because, he always tells me, like, Krista, you're doing so well. Like, you have no idea. You should be so grateful, and I am. But just to give you guys an idea of, like, jobs versus what we do and the timeline.
Okay, so she posts a few slides. I'll just read through them for you. It says, fun fact, my dad was a college dropout. He started working in the mailroom at Interval International and worked his way up to vice president of the company. Took him over 10 years to get there. After 30 years with the company, he retired. This is a success story. Also doesn't happen that often. There's only a few top executives that even get that chance. Then she Googled the average time that it might take someone to reach CEO within a company, and she underlines that it generally takes 20 to 25 years. And then she puts a slider scale on her story. And I'm sorry, but are you really comparing Monat ranks to being vice presidents, presidents, CEOs? This person is at the executive director rank. Does that mean that she's calling herself the president of Monat? Because ma'am, here's the president of Monat. This is Stuart. And in his free time, he allegedly likes to use his troll Instagram account to DM anti-MLM pages that talk badly about his company. This is a highly entertaining speculation, and I'm gonna link an Instagram post in the description box for you that breaks it down really easily, and they put all the evidence together to prove that this one Instagram account belongs to the president of Monat and that he trolls anti-MLM accounts. The post is by the anti-MLM account, Anti-MLM Advocate. They break it down beautifully. They provide all the screenshots. You should check it out if you want a good laugh. But I digress. Rising in the ranks of Monat is not the same thing as becoming the president or the CEO of an entire corporation. Believe it or not, Monat is a huge corporation. They already have people filling all of these roles. They already have a CEO, a president, a vice president. And as a Monat market partner, you still fall at the bottom of that ladder. You still fall at the employee level. Even though you're not technically classified as an employee, you are an independent contractor, you're still that company's salesperson. All they've done is assign ranks to their salespeople to make them feel special and to give you the false impression of being a business owner and a CEO of your own company. MLMs are very sneaky that way. They get you to work at the bottom level, they get you to do the dirty work and to recruit people and sell the product for them, but they also convince you that you're a CEO. Tricky, tricky. And last little thing that I'm just now noticing as I'm looking at this, on the My Company side, okay, she's only including 10 out of the 11 ranks. She's not including the first rank, which is market partner. She starts at the second rank up, managing market partner, and she equates that second rank to being an intern. Isn't it pretty common that interns are unpaid? I know she's not trying to do this, but what this is showing me is that even at the second rank in the company, you're still going to be donating your time. You're still not going to be making as much money back as you have invested, and for all intents and purposes, you're still learning, you're still an intern, and your sole purpose in the company is to make the other people above you money. And that, my friends, is an MLM top fail if I have ever seen one. Okay, this next reel, I can't play the audio, but it's the audio that everybody is making a reel out of right now. It's the I could be brown, I could be blue, that song. And it says, my parents had me when they were 16, 2 teens in high school. They had to choose between keeping me or an abortion. Thank God they chose to keep me. With all the odds against me, including traumas from my childhood, I went on to be the first college graduate in my family. In 2020, I earned my first paid-for luxury car. This year, I bought my first house, and I've officially paid off $27,000 in school loan debt. From being raised on food stamps to making that my reason to keep going. If you're reading this, you've got this. Something about this feels super icky to me, and I also feel like I need to tread lightly. What I'm seeing here is this hot new trend among MLM reps to open up about your past traumas or something really deep in order to promote your MLM. I'm all here for this wave of being more like real on social media, not just posting a highlight reel, but opening up about all of the true human experiences that all of us go through but haven't previously been talked about. I think all of that is great. However, I do feel like MLM reps have sort of like made a trend out of it as a way of trying to appear more relatable and to tug on the heartstrings of other people who have experienced the same thing as a way to then like tap into their vulnerabilities. I have seen literal MLM training calls centered around this idea of oversharing intentionally for the sole purpose of being a recruitment tactic, and that's gross. Not only is it disingenuous, but it's also manipulative. As far as the content of her reel and the traumas that she's talking about, I feel hesitant to even say this because I don't want it to come off the wrong way. But But what she's brought up in this reel is that her parents were faced with this tough decision of becoming teen parents and deciding between keeping their baby or not. And then the subsequent financial struggles they endured as a result of deciding to become teen parents. And that can 100% be traumatic for her parents. But that's the thing. It's like, isn't that more of her parents' trauma than her own? It almost feels like she's reaching a little bit and taking her parents' really tough decision and turning it into like an MLM pitch for herself. God, I'm sorry. I feel like I sound really insensitive right now. I hope you can understand that I'm not trying to invalidate anybody's trauma and that I'm well aware there could be other things that happened in her childhood that she's not willing to talk about and she's not willing to include in the reel, and that's fine. I just wish we could get away from like the guilting and the manipulating and the oversharing simply for the purpose of recruitment. Because the end goal with all of it is to pull on someone's heartstrings and to make them relate to you on some level and to create this foundation of like this inauthentic connection with somebody just so that you can set them up to be pitched later. That's my main issue with this reel. It's like the comparison of childhood traumas to look at me, now I have a paid for luxury car, which is completely not true. They don't pay for your car. They give you a bonus if you earn it each and every month. And I went to college and I paid off all this debt, and good for you. But we all know that you're only creating this reel in the hopes that you will be able to recruit somebody and make more money off of them. Okay, and this next one, I'm actually very excited. This is a short Instagram live from a rep in the company Valentis. I personally have never heard of this company before this was sent to me. I don't know that I've heard anybody else talk about them. They very well could have, and I just didn't catch it. But I love when I get clips of things that aren't commonly talked about. I get a ton of Monate and Arbonne and Young Living, and we all know about those. But I love when I can feature a company in a video that other people might not know of. Maybe they know of it, but they didn't know it was an MLM. Either way, MLMs are all around us, and I feel like the more that we're aware of, the better, right? And this company is in so many countries. If you go to their website, if you go to valentis.com, I think I'm pronouncing that right, I really don't know. The first thing it'll prompt you to do is choose your country, and they literally have like all of the countries on this list. So I'm really surprised that I've never heard of this company before now, but I just went on their website. It looks like they're a supplement MLM. They sell all the typical stuff like detox teas and pre-workout and stuff like that. And honestly, it looks really sketchy to me. They seem to be most well known for their weight loss coffee, if that tells you anything. And again, I love that somebody sent this to me because I never would have come across this company if it wasn't sent to me. And this is a short Instagram live that she's doing about the 8 ways to earn money in the company.
Hello. God, I've got something in my eye right as I've gone live. Typical. I'm literally just going to wait like a couple seconds and just check this is working, and then I'm going to jump straight into it. As long as I get this thing out of my eye. Oh my God. I've got something in my eye and the dog's going mental. This is not a good start. Okay, hello, I can see people joining, amazing. So this video is gonna be all about how you can earn 8 different ways through your social media. So today is Friday, which is payday for me and my team. So it seemed very fitting to jump on and just run through our 8 different ways of earning through social media. I have done a full video on the 8 ways of earning where I've got like a diagram and all sorts. It's in full detail. So if you want to hear this in more detail, if you're watching and thinking that's something I might be interested in, go and watch that video. It's on my page and it's on my team page. But this is just going to be like a brief overview of our 8 ways of earning in my company. Hello, I can see everyone jumping on. So our first way of earning is retail profit. We can make up to 69% retail profit, which is an amazing markup. Not many companies make that good profit on their sales. But what I will say about the sales side of things is you do not need to be amazing at sales. I personally was put off of joining other network marketing companies because their sales targets were so high. I couldn't imagine how I was going to find like hundreds of customers every month. Our personal sales target is super low. So if sales isn't what you want to focus on, that's okay. We actually only have to find 3 customers a month. Once you've hit like your core rank, you only have to find 3 customers a month, which anybody can do. There are billions of people in the world. Anyone, even me, can find 3 customers a month. You do not need to be really good at sales in our company because that is just the first of 8 different ways of earning. So there's 7 more.
Okay, wait, so keep in mind, I literally have no background knowledge on this company whatsoever. And she just said that she was put off of other MLMs because they had like sales volume quotas. I'm assuming she means like PV requirements, personal volume requirements. But did she just say that this company has customer volume quotas? Like you have to get a certain number of customers each month, not a certain number of sales volume each month? Maybe I'm crazy, but wouldn't that be more difficult, because at least if you have like a dollar amount you're trying to hit or like a PV requirement you're trying to hit, you can reach that from multiple sources, right? You can have your customers, you can contribute to that, which lots of them do. And to a certain extent, I could imagine that in other companies, you could keep yourself afloat for a little bit, just relying on your current customer base. But is she saying that you have to find 3 new customers every single month? Imagine the cold messaging that must go on in this MLM, because that's a ton of people that you're gonna have to like introduce to the company and convince them to purchase from you that month. I mean, it just sounds like it's truly never ending, which means that it sounds very exhausting to me.
So our second way of earning is our fast start bonus. So you can earn up to $100 per person you join into the business. So say you got started in the business this week, and then next week you signed up 3 people who all got started in the business. You would make $100 for each of them joining up. Like, it's actually insane.
Great. We love to see that you get cut a literal check just for signing someone up. We love being trained to view everyone as a dollar sign.
And then that leads on to our third way of earning, which is our legacy qualified. So when you are legacy qualified, now from earning $100 for everyone joining your team, this doubles to $200 for every single person that joins your team. So your 4th person on for infinity levels across and infinity levels down, like there is no limit to this, you will get $200 for every single one of those that joins. That way of earning alone is what made me look at this company, and I was like, this is the one I'm going to join over all the other ones I've looked at, because there is no limit to how much you can earn by that way of earning. It's absolutely insane. And $200 is a lot of money, like a lot of money.
I'm already confused. I feel like when they try to explain the compensation plan, it just goes right over my head. They're always very, very confusing. And I feel like she's leaving something out. Like there has to be some kind of stipulation to this. You get paid $100 for everybody up to 3 levels, and then $200 for every level after that? If I'm understanding this correctly, which I'm probably not, does that mean that someone like 3 levels down from her, if that person recruits someone, she makes more money than she would if she recruited them herself? I have no idea. I'm just confusing myself at this point. But also, how alarming is it that she's like, I decided to join this company over other companies because they pay the most for recruitment. So that's why I joined, so I can make the most money off of people possible. Like, I get it. If this is your new job, your new endeavor, you want to make the most money you can, you want to join the best opportunity. But usually the Huns like try to lie. They at least try to say that they love the products and they're just passionate about helping people. And this girl's like, yeah, I get paid the big bucks for recruits, so that's why I joined this company instead of another one.
So our 4th way of earning is our binary pay, and this is where things start to get really exciting. And I would say the first 3 ways of earning, you can do those straight away. You could get started and be earning those 3 ways immediately. I was able to replace my full-time income with pretty much these 3 way of earnings alone. And then, sorry, I'm losing my voice. And then when you've been in the business a bit longer, you've been building your team consistently, you're going to start to accumulate points on both legs. In our business, we have 2 legs of business. And while you're finding customers and finding team members, you're going to get points for that. Every time somebody in your team places an order, you get points for that for your entire team. No limits. It goes on forever and ever and ever. Infinity and cross, infinity levels down.
Okay, this is funny because I just posted a Plexus deep dive, and I said in that video they also have a point system, and I said, I don't think I've ever seen another MLM do this. And here we are. The way I understand it in very simple terms is that when you make sales or when people purchase things, then you earn points, and at the end of the month you kind of trade in those points for certain dollar amounts. I don't know, but it's very interesting to see that like other MLMs do the points too.
So when you really start to get momentum behind your team, you can see how this is going to explode. So your binary pay, your 4th way of earning, is when you have 200 points on one leg and 100 points on the other leg. That is going to generate a cycle. And for that cycle, you'll get $20. Now, that does not sound like a lot of money. And that's why I didn't really get excited by this way of earning when I was new to the business. It only happened later on because I realized that once you start building a team and your team starts building team, that 200 to 100 ratio can happen a lot. And I think the highest I think the highest amount I've made from binary pay alone is something ridiculous, like $3,000 in a week. Like, absolutely crazy, and there's no limit to that. There's people in our company that will be making, I'm not going to make income claims, but crazy amounts of money every single week from that one of 8 ways of earning. So it's absolutely insane. That is now my favorite way of earning, because once you start to generate that team and your team gets bigger and bigger, like I said, it just like goes absolutely crazy.
I'm not going to make an income claim, but also here's an income claim. I'll be real honest with you, I'm already lost. The legs, the points, the cycles, it's all gibberish. Why do MLM compensation plans have to be so dang confusing? I mean, the answer is that they're intentionally confusing so that you really don't know fully what's going on. You don't really understand how they work, and so you just kind of keep believing that if you're working hard enough that like the money will start to come to you and that you can be paid infinite dollars somehow. But she said it more than once, that the bonuses are uncapped and there's no limit to how many people you can recruit. Which might be true that the company itself doesn't outline a limited number of people that you can recruit, but just the natural state of the world means that if you recruit 5 friends who recruit 5 friends who recruit 5 friends, you can only do that like 13 or 14 cycles until you have exceeded the population of planet Earth. So it's not truly an uncapped and infinite opportunity. Sure, the company and the reps might use that as like a selling point, but it's not mathematically feasible.
So our 5th way of earning is our matching bonus. So again, once you've been in the business a little while and you've been consistently building your team, when your team then start getting binary pay, you get paid a percentage of that. So in this business, we literally get paid to help other people. So for example, let's use my team, my Unite community. I've got like 6 or 7 really strong frontline leaders. I've helped them build their business. I've taught them everything they need to know, and now they have their own teams. So when they get paid, I get paid a percentage of that, and that is our matching. So in network marketing, the beauty of this industry is you're going to get paid over and over and over again in the future for the hard work you did once upon a time. So the girls that I have on my team now, I signed them up maybe last year, but I'm still getting paid every single week for the things I taught them and the skills I taught them. And I obviously do continue to teach them, but the hard work was done maybe last year when I signed them up, and now I'm continuing to get paid residually or passively, however you want to call it. Basically, you can earn a long time after the initial work is done, and that is the beauty of this industry. Like, it's honestly absolutely insane when you understand how you can earn through your social media.
Okay, so here's my question, and this is a genuine question. Can you consider something to be residual income if you keep having to go back and like work on it more? Like you keep continually having to return to it to maintain it in order for you to continue seeing profits out of it? She's saying that she like put in the work a year ago to train these 6 or 7 really strong people, but I would imagine she still spends a portion of her time like continuing to train them. They're still in her downline. She's still responsible for keeping tabs on them and making sure that they're doing what they need to be doing in order to make her money. So is it really residual? Like, I guess you could make the argument that a portion of it is residual, maybe. I guess I think of it this way, okay? When an author writes a book, they put in the hard work and the time up front, they write the book, but once it's published and for sale, they're still making residual income on the profits of that book as long as people are buying it. It's not like they have to go back every so often and rewrite the book. Do you know what I mean? And especially when it comes to multi-level marketing, the recruitment tactics, the trainings, the strategies, they change all the time. So what you taught them and trained them on last year might not apply this year, and you might have to come up with something new, and you might have to retrain them on a new strategy. So to be honest, I'm not 100% sold on this residual income idea, but she's also really highlighting how much of a house of cards this really is. Because let's say 2 out of her 7 really strong people, they just decide to quit. They're done. They've had enough. Her finances take a hit because of that. And that's exactly what creates like the toxic dynamic of brainwashing in MLMs, where you're constantly like trying to do everything you can to keep your team members on your team. You say and do anything you need to keep that team intact and to keep making the same amount of money you are. Because as soon as somebody quits, that residual income that you worked so hard for is now just gone. And that's why it's so important for people in MLMs to do everything in their power to make sure no one quits.
So our 6th way of earning is, sorry, the dog's up to something crazy. Our 6th way of earning is our enrollment pool bonus. So like I spoke about just a little bit earlier on in the call, if you sign up 3 people to your business in 1 month, if you get them to their Ruby promotion, you are going to, which most people hit in their first month, most people get to Ruby in their first month. So you help 3 people get to Ruby. you are going to qualify for a 1% share of the company's profits that month, which is just an amazing extra little bonus. And if you help 6 people, then you're going to get 2%, and so on and so on. So again, the more people you help, the more money you are going to make. We literally get paid to help people. It's the most rewarding industry ever.
This is a little bit of a side note. Okay, my mom watches my videos occasionally. She watched a video last night where I was talking about how parents will like exploit their kids to sell their MLM products. And she was like, well, you're exploiting Cooper by putting him in your video so people will watch and they'll subscribe because they like seeing Cooper. She was obviously kidding, okay? Very much a joke. But I was like, he puts himself in my videos, okay? I don't do anything to make him come up here. This is his what, like 3rd or 4th appearance in this video? I can't control it. I mean, I could lock him outside the door, but then he would just meow in the background, and that's also annoying. Sorry if you don't like him in the frame. It is what it is. But okay, she's talking about this being the most rewarding industry ever because you get to help people. You don't get paid to help people. You get paid to recruit people. And in the industry of network marketing, recruiting people very, very seldomly actually helps them. It's just kind of like a lie that you tell yourself to make yourself feel better about what you're actually doing, which is just getting as many people as possible into this for your own financial gain.
Our 7th way of earning is our car bonus. So this is something that definitely made me choose this company over any other one. A lot of companies don't have a car bonus, or they might have a car bonus where you're restricted to which car you can get. So it might be like specifically Mercedes or like whichever kind of car. But with us, there's no, you don't have to pick a certain kind of car. You can have whatever car you want, and you can get up to $3,000 a month for a car. Like, I actually can't even get my head around that. Like, best believe I'm getting a Lamborghini when my car bonus is that high. At the moment, I get $800 a month because I've qualified for the car bonus twice. So it starts at $400, $800, etc., and it goes all the way up to $3,000 a month, depending on your rank, which is just insane. And if you don't drive or you don't want the car bonus, you can still get half the money, which is also amazing because it's a car bonus, so you can still get it even if you don't want the car.
The more she's talking, the more this sounds like Plexus to me, and I'm only thinking that way because I literally just posted that video yesterday. But it's a supplement MLM, point system compensation plan. They have a car bonus, but they also have like a lifestyle bonus where you can just get some of the money if you don't want the car. I mean, it's all kind of adding up here. But here's your reminder that car bonus programs are sketchy, and you should never, ever take part in them unless you are able to fully pay for that car on your own from another income stream that is unrelated to the MLM. Because that is your car that you purchase in your name, and you only get paid out the bonuses if you remain in the company and if you maintain or rise in the ranks. The clock resets every month, and if you don't maintain that rank or if you don't hit a higher one, the bonuses are cut off, you no longer receive any money from your company, and then you will be fully financially responsible for that Lamborghini each month.
And then our 8th and final way of earning, which is new this year, it only got introduced this year, which is also amazing. The dog has chosen now to chew on squeaky toys. Anyway, our 8th way of earning is our global bonus, our annual global bonus, and this was only introduced this year. So most companies, as they get bigger, their CEOs will scale back their compensation plan to like take into consideration how many new reps they're getting. You know, they don't want to be paying out all their money, but not ours. He's just come up with another 8th way of earning, which is a yearly bonus. So as well as all our monthly bonuses, we have daily, weekly, monthly, and now yearly pay. This is a yearly bonus that is done based on points that you will acquire throughout the year for doing all the things you need to do to build your business, like getting customers, hitting promotions yourself, helping your team hit promotions. You're going to generate points for those, and then based on those points, you would earn a certain number of shares depending on the company's net profit that year. So again, just another amazing bonus, and it'll be paid out to us in January. So what an amazing time to get a yearly bonus.
This literally sounds so similar to Plexus, I can't even deal. Like, there are minute differences, but wow. I'm telling you, all MLMs are the same, okay? They will slightly tweak certain things to try and say that this one's better than that one. It does not matter. All of the income disclosure statements tell you the same story. They're all the same.
So that was, like I said, just a really quick rundown of our 8 ways of earning, because it is payday today. We get paid every single Friday in my team. So happy Friday, everyone in the team. If anyone's got any questions or would like to know more information about how you can earn 8 ways through your social media, please just pop me a message, and have a lovely weekend.
So to recap, she talked about 8 ways to earn money in the company, and only one of those ways had to do with selling the product. Cool. That's called a pyramid scheme, ma'am. It sounds like your company pays out more money in recruitment bonuses than it does in sales commissions, so yikes. And that is all I have for you for today's MLM Top Fails video. I think this one was a little on the longer side, and I like that. And it's all thanks to you for sending stuff to me. Thank you again for that. And before we go, I have a comment shout out. This one says, when they say that you can do Monat in pockets of time, they're definitely talking about guys' pockets, like cargo pants pockets, Mary Poppins purse style pockets. I don't think this is the first time that Emma has been featured in a comment shout out because her comments always get me. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in my next one real soon.